I'm Toya Lavelle, this is Toya, and in today's episode we'll be discussing new music from The Weeknd, 2 new Netflix shows, Letter for the King and Self-Made. But first, here's the quick tea. The last few months have flown by, and just like that, Disney Plus has launched. Alongside a host of Marvel, Disney and National Geographic shows, it brings its first hit show, The Mandalorian, which is a Star Wars spin-off. It couldn't have come for a company at a better time for an online streaming service, considering the UK is officially in lockdown. But have you watched it? Have you subscribed? Let me know. Reese Witherspoon has launched a new programme, Little Fires Everywhere. As far as I'm concerned, Reese Witherspoon can do no wrong. She is an amazing actress and she does a banging job in this show. It also features one of my favourite actresses, Kerry Washington. I've watched the first 3 episodes and it's a little bit weird, but weird in a way that makes you want to watch more because you just want to know what's going to happen next. Do you want to binge watch it and catch up with me? Let me know what you think. Marvel are no strangers to adapting times and changes and values. However, everyone's questioning their latest move. Their newly announced superhero is a non-binary character called Snowflake. The company have received backlash because there are certain people who are saying that they're taking it too far and we don't need to be that PC, and there are other people that are really unhappy with the name Snowflake. What do you think? Do we think it's time for a new character that isn't a bat or spider that we grew up with? Let me know in the comments below. And finally, for those of you that aren't a fan of big Hollywood budgets, there are a few programs or a few films even that are coming straight to you on your TV screens. Because of the current coronavirus that is going on, The Hunt, Emma and The Invisible Man are coming straight to your TV screens this March. The latest Disney Pixar movie, Onward, never even made it into the cinema, so it was released digitally in March and will be available for anyone that's on Disney Plus from the 4th of April. However, Warner Brothers have stayed very quiet about what they're planning to do with Wonder Woman. It's supposed to be released on June 5th, but for now they have not announced whether they'll be pushing it back or releasing it to our TV screens. What would you like, TV, or do you want to wait a year for the film? But that was the quick sip, now for the real tea.
When it's done, yeah.
The Weeknd entered the music scene in 2010 when he anonymously uploaded songs onto YouTube, which garnered him an amazing audience. He subsequently exploded as an artist following a load of collaborations. Most notably, a collaboration with Drake, but over the last 10 years has established himself as a musical force not to be reckoned with. Both as a songwriter and producer, with his unique singing voice, he produces songs that are equally haunting, but his voice is also sweet. His voice could almost be described as a slightly dark, melodic R&B.
I don't ever wanna know. I can tell what you've done, yeah.
His songs don't sound like anything else that is out there at the moment, which in a crowded market is a very good thing. Just wondering if there's something in the water in Canada, because between him, Drake and Justin Bieber, we've got some of the most successful artists. Even though everyone classes them as American, they're all from Canada. Anyway, moving on to this album, After Hours. What can I say? It's a good album. I don't think it's outstanding, but it's a good effort and something good to listen to right now. I didn't hear anything too far from what he's done in the past, which means his sound is unique, but I would have preferred if there was a lot more baby making tracks, because I feel like we haven't had a hit from him since Earned It.
In your eyes, I see there's something burning inside you.
However, he does sound as good as ever, and he approaches the sounds of Love and Heartbreak from slightly different angles. His use of live instruments with a synthesized sound gave some of the songs a bit of an 80s throwback R&B feel, but in a good way. All in all, I'd say give it a listen. I liked it, but I didn't love it. Let me know what you think in the comments below.
If you set your mind to it, if you do what I know you can do, you will become a knight.
Moving on to the Netflix show, Letter for the King. This is a fantastic drama series set in a mythical land. This is a young adventure show which focuses around magic, adventure, politics, backstabbing and alliances. Some have described it as the Game of Thrones Junior, but I think that's a little bit harsh.
The old world grows weak, and the fire that we are about to start will destroy everything that still remains.
Yes, the show is family friendly and covers some of the themes that, shows like Game of Thrones did, but in a more palatable way. But that's always going to be an issue going forward with fantasy shows. They're always going to be compared to Game of Thrones. The show's creators are quite keen to put forward the fact that they're very different to a show like Game of Thrones. And having watched the first season, I can say I tend to agree.
Take this letter. You must deliver it to the king. The future, the entire kingdom depends on it. Thousands will die.
It's also based on a book, which after binge watching in one day, I can safely say it was very different. Maybe I'm just a fan of fantasy shows, but I really enjoyed it and I loved the twist in episode 3. No spoilers around here though. I'm really hoping they'll get a season 2 if it does well enough. So come on guys, give it a watch on Netflix and let me know what you think. Self-Made is a Netflix drama inspired by the real life of Sarah Breedlove. You may not recognise that name, but you would know her as Madam C.J. Walker, the beauty specialist who spawned a hair care empire. The name was adapted from her husband, Charles Joseph Walker. Madam C.J. Walker was a businesswoman and a philanthropist. She made her fortune developing hair care products and beauty products, especially for black women.
Sisters, let's talk about hair. They put us down, tell us we're ugly, make us feel ugly. Wonderful hair leads to wonderful opportunities.
She developed a hair care system that basically was called the Walker system to help promote natural hair growth in black women. She then taught other women and they became her sales agents and she built her empire. This show went from showing her growing from a 7-year-old orphan to then being recognised in the Guinness Book of World Records as the first self-made millionaire black woman. This is a brilliant story of showing how success can come from anywhere, brought to life by Octavia Spencer.
Seems like I was born to struggle. After a while, I guess I just lost hope.
It's one of the stories many of you are likely to have not heard, even those who use the products. So I would definitely recommend that you give it a watch now. Not just because she started off poor and ended up rich, but it's what she does when she becomes in a position of power to help the other people around her and the random strangers. If you haven't watched it yet, give it a watch. It's family friendly, and if you have, let me know what you think in the comments below. That's it for this week's Tea with Toya. Make sure you join us next week where we'll be discussing season 3 of Ozark and amongst other topics. And remember, when it comes to the tea, we #sip, don't spill.